Why play Nasus Mid? Well, his poke is brilliant, his wave clear is absurdly good, he's an infinitely scaling champion, and his W is ridiculous lockdown. However, he can get kited by champions with hard CC, and he struggles into scaling laners not being able to pressure them enough. Nasus's passive is very simply he gains a large amount of lifesteal. Nasus's Q is usually his bread and butter, but in this build his E is pretty up there too. His Q is an auto attack reset, which makes his next attack gain bonus range and deal bonus damage. If this ability kills the target, it permanently gains 3 stacks. And if the target killed was a champion, cannon minion, or large monster, he instead gains 12 stacks. This ability does bonus damage depending on the stacks, and this can be infinitely stacked to make it deal nuclear damage. Nasus's W is a point and click ability which slows and cripples the target. The amount they're slowed and crippled increases over a 5-second duration. And in case you didn't know, the cripple ability lowers the target's attack speed. Nasus's E places down a circle on the floor which deals a large chunk of damage to enemies within. The circle then lasts for 5 seconds where enemies within take damage and have their armor reduced. Nasus's ultimate empowers himself to grant himself bonus health, armor, magic resist, size, and attack range. In addition, he deals damage in a circle around him, and the cooldown on his Q is halved. For combos, use E and W before ulting. From here, attack into your Q before attacking away using Q as an auto attack reset. For matchups, he is amazing into immobile mid laners who he can wither and run down, and it's even better if they rely on attack speed. However, he can struggle into hard scaling laners. For runes, there's a few options, but I highly recommend Airy for even more bullying. For build order, start Ring and Pot into a Triforce in tier 2 boots. After this, a Frozen Heart and Spirit's Visage are great pickups before finishing a build with any of these as needed. For skill order, start E then Q, then take a second point in E and then W. From here, put 3 points into E as this gives you amazing poke and wave clear. Before maxing Q, then W and E as you become the normal Nasus. For summoner spells, take Flash and Teleport. Ghost also works well. Starting the game as a mid lane Nasus, you play slightly differently. Your main focus is always going to be on farming hard and poking your opponent. Your E is incredibly hard to avoid and deals massive damage, and you'll often be able to poke your opponent while pushing the way for massive value. And by the time you're level 5 and have 3 points in this ability, it deals silly damage to constantly keep your opponent on low health. From here, you get your Sheen, start leveling Q, and become the usual Nasus. Also, as you push so hard, you do give yourself tons of time to roam, so if a side lane is pushing too hard, go and punish them. Entering the mid game, your bot lane will come mid, which puts you in a side lane where you are amazing. From here, split push to draw pressure while your Q shreds through towers. Entering late game teamfights, you want to play a front to back playstyle. This is where you essentially attack their front line until you get through to their back line. At this point in the game, your passive will be giving you 24% lifesteal, which scales with your infinitely scaling Q. So just make sure you keep attacking something to make yourself incredibly tanky. Throw your E over as many members of the enemy team as possible to reduce their armor, and if you can ever W an enemy AD carry, the attack speed reduction basically renders them useless. And that's how to play Nasus Mid. If this video helped you, leave a like and comment below who you want to see next.